Greetings all, Danny and Mina here from Mondevi Counseling and Consultation, and I wanted to talk to you today about faith. And I want to start by saying a couple of things. If you haven't gotten church today, you will get it. If you're a non-believer, hopefully this will make you believe. Now, people that know me know that I have been struggling with my faith for more than a decade now. There was an instance that happened that took me away from church and took me away from believing in God. And I was struggling until recently with believing. And I've had a chain of events happen to me over the past month and a half that has made me realize that I need to start to pray. This whole year has been a testimony, and the people that has helped me through it also know that it's been a testimony. I plan on sharing things about this year, but not until I totally come through what I've been going through. But this is so important that I had to say it, and I can't hold out on telling anybody or everybody any longer, so that hopefully somebody will get a healing from this. Let me just start by saying I had a conversation tonight with a friend that's very close to me. Johnny lives in New Mexico, and we were talking about my website for the Mondevi business. Johnny is helping me to create the website, and I casually brought up the fact that when I was in between the end of my treadmill workout and the start of a next workout, I laid on the floor and I prayed. And then I went on with my conversation, and I came back maybe 20 minutes later and I said, "Did you realize that I said I prayed?" And he was like, "Yes." After you said that, I kind of went blank because I'm sitting here thinking, what? She did what? So I won't go into the backstory, but of why he thought it was strange that I said I prayed, other than to say I haven't prayed in years, probably a decade. So this year, or the start of my transition from going to praying to not praying, happened with a few things, and I'm just going to briefly say what those things were without making this long and drawn out. But I need you to listen, and I need you to focus, and I need you to feel it when I say it. So I'm in a restaurant with with my cousin and two guys that I had just met. I went to the bathroom, and as I'm coming into the bathroom, I'm singing the song "Drunk in Love," and I see somebody in the end stall. I see her feet. After a minute of me being in there, she was like, "Teacher, stop singing that song. You don't know nothing about that song, teacher." And after she said it about 3 times, I was like, "Why do you insist on calling me teacher?" She went into this conversation about she knew who I was when I came into the bathroom because she felt my spirit. And she said she was a medium, but she was a medium but she said because she was tipsy, her vibes weren't coming through, or the readings weren't coming through like they really were supposed to. And she was like, "Don't worry, you doubt me. I know you doubt me. You doubt everything. You have a wall up, and you just don't believe in a lot of things. But somebody that's on the other side told me to tell you about the merry-go-round." Now that got me to listening, and she said it in a way to say, you need to believe me, and this is why you need to believe me. When she said merry-go-round, along with some other things that she said, it let me know that she was talking about my cousin Yvette that passed about 10 years ago. The last time I spoke to Yvette, we argued about an amusement park and why my son shouldn't go and let my other son go. Before the conversation ended, and it was a heated conversation, the phone disconnected. I don't know if Yvette hung the phone up or did the call just drop. I never spoke to Yvette again. She died after that. So when I hear the medium saying merry-go-round, I knew that was a sign to say, remember we argued about this amusement park. That was the last time we spoke. After she said that, she said that they want you to know that they are so over that. Let it go. They're at peace with it. You should be at peace. It's still bothering you. Leave it alone. So I'm telling Johnny this, and I'm also telling him, and there's more to the story, but we don't have that type of time. And I'm telling him that I keep getting these signs from people as if God is speaking to me, the God that I'm trying to ignore, or the creator, whatever you want to call him. And one of the signs was a friend of mine who was a male telling me, do you know how much power you have? You know how many lives you change? Do you know how much help you give without realizing you give the help? Now just imagine if you had God behind you, how much more powerful you would be. After that happened, I had 2 conversations with 2 different males that were both negative when it came to in regards to believing in God. Then my girlfriend comes home from Puerto Rico and she sits on my couch as I tell her I had to have a conversation with one of my friends and tell him to come and pray with me because I didn't know how to pray and whatever. She said to me, do you know how many lives you've changed? Do you know how you've changed the direction of my life just by this advice that you gave me? And it also changed the lives of my kids as well and my husband. So you are very powerful, and you would be so much more powerful if you had God behind you. So I'm telling Johnny all of this, and he tells me that his cousin passed 10 years ago, and before he found out that she was dead, he dreamed that somebody was choking his cousin and that she got shot in her head. And it was so vivid that he couldn't sleep that night. When he woke up that morning, he got a call from his cousin's brother saying that she had been shot in her head, and it came in the back and went out on the temple. And he said after that happened, he dreamed of her a few more times. I'm listening to him tell me all of this, and I'm just like, wow, you have a gift and you don't even know it. And he was like, I probably do, but I blocked it. And I'm thinking of the things that I blocked that my friend keeps telling me I have a gift that I'm blocking it. And then I tell Johnny I have to go because, I need to go to the bathroom. And we're doing FaceTime, so of course I don't want to do that. And so he was like, okay, well, call me back. I need to put my clothes in the wash machine, whatever. Then I come back and sit down thinking I'm going to start writing or do whatever. Johnny calls me back and he says, I need to tell you something. I want to say that this is the best. Well, he said, my cousin, I just realized my cousin died 10 years ago this month. And my birthday is this Saturday. And I just feel like our conversation that we just had was the best conversation, or the best birthday present that I could have ever gotten. And I was just like, what? He said that, and I felt some kind of way like, wow, why? And so he was, a little emotional and just saying that he felt connected to his cousin and this, that, and the third. And then I started thinking, you know what? I don't recall. I know my cousin died in February because I remember going to view her body the day before Valentine's Day. And I also didn't tell him in the first conversation before we hung up the phone that my cousin died of an aneurysm. His cousin was like a sister to him. My cousin was like a sister to me. And they both passed away of brain trauma or brain injuries. And I thought that was spooky. But anyway, before I told him all that, he called me back to say, I needed to tell you something. And before I tell you what he said, I just want to say that I have been praying every day for probably a month and a half and just asking for whatever spirit in me that is blocking me from believing in my creator is taken away from me, taken away from my house. I want it off my land, off my property, whatever, because I want to be in line with God. I want to believe in him again. I want to have a connection with him that has nothing to do with religion, but just a connection to my creator. So I'm doing it every day. I'm trying to build a spiritual connection. And then Johnny says to me, I called you back because I needed to tell you this. God has already got your back. And when he said that, I just bust out crying and I felt this warmth in my heart, and I felt like somebody was wrapping a blanket around my soul, because I guess I needed that confirmation. And if you remember, because we're 10 minutes into this thing now, I said, 2 people said, do you know how powerful you would be if God had your back? And for Johnny to say, not only did he have to call me back and say it, but the sense of urgency that he felt when he was putting his clothes in the wash machine, it was just like, I got to call her, and I got to call her now. I need to call her and say, God has already got your back, was as strong as his need for breath. How many times do I have to deny him to realize that he's here? How many times do you have to deny him to realize that he's here? And for the believers, how many times do you have to deny him to realize that he has your back? So I just needed to impart this. I hope you watched it to the end. Share it with who you want to share it with. Be uplifted, if you can. I'm inspired by this. I feel like the conversation we needed to have happened. We were calling to talk about, or we were brought together to talk about my business, Mundivi. But the conversation was totally taken to the left and just randomly. And matter of fact, that left was right. So I needed to share this with everyone I could share it with, and just tell you how much it meant to me to get a validation of what I had been praying for. So keep believing. If you don't believe, listen to those little things that goes on around you, like friends telling you stuff, that if they are believers. And believers, be subtle with the way you push God onto anybody, or push your creator onto anybody, because the tone that you take will be the tone that either brings a person to the creator or pushes them further away from the creator. And my little nuggets that have been dropped around me, and there's so many more, but we don't have that type of time, that has been happening to me over the last couple of months, have been so subtle but so powerful. A medium coming to me through my cousin. Who would have thought something like that would happen? And she told me so much, but I won't go into it. A man telling me, do you know how powerful you would be if you had God behind you? A female telling me, do you know how powerful you would be if you had God behind you? 2 people telling me I need to believe and God is real. And I was so angry. But after I got past the anger of them telling me that, I looked at my ego and I said, you know what? After having all of these little things happen to me, I feel like those 2 people were devils or evil spirits that was like, don't you believe in them? I still want you to be blind. I still need you to think that the creator is not real, because that spirit knows the one thing you can do to push me further away from something is tell me that you know that something is real, or to say it in a way that's aggressive, like I better believe or I'm going to hell. So for them to say it like they said it, let me know, after I calmed down and I got past my ego, what I needed to do. And that was find somewhere and sit down and pray. And that's what I did. So I feel like this conversation with Johnny and him telling me God has your back confirms everything. And it confirms that what I'm doing with my business and what I'm trying to do when I relay these blogs to you, and when I post things on my Mundivi page or on my YouTube page or on my Twitter, it is what I'm chosen to do. And I hope you got a piece of some church today. I hope you got a piece of some healing today. And I hope you got a piece of some wisdom. Danny and Mina, Mundivi Counseling and Consultation. And I will see you soon. Take care.